Hello there, Dexter fans, and welcome to a brand new episode of Dexter Unwrapped, a podcast where we wander into the shadows and unwrap the dark mind of everyone's favorite vigilante serial killer, Dexter Morgan. As always, I'll be your host, Michaela.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we're talking about episode 2 of Dexter Resurrection, titled Camera Shy.
Somebody once told me, you have to go through hell to achieve resurrection. Hallelujah.
Thanks for joining us, Spotify and YouTube listeners. We are so excited to dive into episode 2 of Dexter Resurrection. I don't think we have a whole lot to talk about today. I did see something on Dexter Daily, though, about the Trinity show. Apparently, I kind of thought maybe that had been shelved, but apparently the script is done and beautifully written for, Arthur Mitchell's kind of like origin story. So that's going to be really cool to see.
I don't know how I feel about it because Trinity was such an iconic character, and we already got a lot of backstory with him. So I don't know how they're going to do this.
We did, and kind of like it is with horror, sometimes things are scarier when you don't understand. You know what I mean?
John Lithgow won an Emmy for his Trinity.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do
touch
it,
back on it. Yeah. I don't know either. But Trinity is a fan favorite, so I don't blame them.
Shut up, cunt.
And it has also been confirmed by Desmond Harrington that Joey Quinn is in fact making a return.
Oh, we can mark that off our bingo card.
Hell yeah! I'm not gonna mark it off quite yet until I see him, but that's definitely gonna get marked off.
It's obviously self-defense.
Amazing. I'm so glad they're bringing all these people back. These people deserve to be acknowledged in the Dexterverse. You know what I mean?
Yes, very exciting. So I wonder if we're gonna get Masuka.
Oh my god, I hope so. I feel like it wouldn't be complete without a little cameo from Masuka as well.
I mean, he was Dexter's right hand man, you know, in the lab. So,
and he was also a fan favorite. Like, people freaking love Masuka. So I think it would be a really awesome thing for them to do to bring him back as well. So hopefully we get to see him further on in the season. But I really think that's about it as far as new news. So I guess we'll get started in on our episode. This is episode 2, Camera Shy. So opening up here on episode 2, we get Black Sabbath's War Pigs. Cute little nod considering Ozzy just did his final show the other day. I thought about that when the song came on. I was like, damn.
Yeah, so sad.
Ozzy, I feel like that dude invented fucking that whole genre of music in a way. He was so impactful. So it's really cool that they put an Ozzy song in here. But and so then we pick up with one of our first bad guys.
Yeah, we see him getting into a cab that is not for him.
Nope. It is what do they call it? A your share, a your ride? What is it? Something like that. It's essentially like an Uber. And he takes an Uber that is not his. And he's talking to this guy. He's talking to the man that's driving him. And he's like, he asks him where he's from. And he says he's from Haiti. And the guy replies, he's like, oh, I was born here. So this feels racially motivated already, does it not?
It does, yes.
It's very clearly we don't really know the full story yet with this guy. But, and he pulls sort of a reminiscent move on this guy. Do we not see this, Dexter do this in the very first episode of Dexter ever?
Yes, and it's so iconic. So yeah, Mike Donovan, we see Dexter wrapping that thing around his neck in the very first episode. Oh, so iconic.
I can't remember exactly what he says to the guy, but it was really sick. It was one of the first times we see Dexter. I mean, it is the first time we see Dexter really doing anything like that. So it definitely brought back original show memories. I think they've done a good job of kind of melting the original show and New Blood together in a way.
I also like that they did this for this character because they named him the Dark Passenger. So,
which is so funny and crazy, and we'll get to that later. But we also see when the guy looks, he like looks in the camera, in like his phone, because he notices that the person he was supposed to pick up is texting him. The guy's like, where are you? You're getting further away. And then he realizes that the person he picked up was not who he was supposed to pick up. And when he looks like in his phone camera, or maybe it's the car camera, I don't know, you can't see the guy's face. It's just like a white blur where his face should be.
Yeah, very weird. You're like, what is this?
Yeah, immediately very interesting. So yeah, this guy is a sick fuck. It's showing a stark contrast between, someone like this and Dexter. Because when Dexter did this, it was a child rapist and murderer. It seems to be this guy is doing this because he wants to punish either like foreigners or a certain race of people. We don't really know the full details on this guy yet. But he asks, must just be part of his like ritual. He says, who will miss you? And then he makes him give him the guy's kids' names and ages, which was so weird. I thought that was such an odd thing for a killer to
definitely
question about. It was weird.
Yeah, definitely strange. I'm excited to see, like, to get further into this character.
Yeah, me too. I hope he ends up on the table soon. Which I feel like is a possibility for sure. But he gives a little bit of information. He's like, I was innocent too once, me and my brother, and then you fucks took it all from us or whatever. So it's something to that variety. But so I feel like this is definitely going to be, this is some type of revenge killings for probably the deaths of his parents or something like that. So I think it's going to be an interesting ride, no pun intended, but we'll see where it goes from here. And he does end up killing this guy, this poor guy.
Yeah, it's awful.
It really would be scary to be like an Uber driver or something.
Yeah, I will not take taxis.
It's scary to be in a taxi, like to be in the back, but it also would be scary to be a driver because you come into contact with so many people, especially somewhere like New York City. You never know what kind of fucking psychos you're going to get, clearly. But before this guy commits his murder, we get our title card, and it's different.
Yeah, it's completely different than the first one.
Yeah.
We've never seen that before.
No. It looks almost like a manhole cover or something for this second episode. I don't mind it. I think
I don't mind it either.
I think it's kind of cool that it's changing every episode.
I still hate the title cards, like the episode cards,
titles, yeah.
But this is pretty cool. I wonder if we're going to get a different one every episode.
This thing?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, the first two are different. I feel like every episode's probably going to be different. I don't know if it really relates to the episode itself, or maybe it's just because he's in the city now and it's just like drawing inspiration from that. I don't really know, but I think it's an interesting stylistic choice.
Very
for sure.
cool. Very cool.
And it's got like a red lighting to it, which is just so Dexter.
Yeah. But then we get our little flashes of the episode like we did with New Blood.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like, why? Why? Just stop.
Yeah, I don't think it's super necessary. It does, when I do watch it, it does kind of intrigue me, though. I'm like, ooh, when am I going to see that? Or that looks cool. I wonder what that has to do with the episode. I feel like that's probably what they're going for. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's not necessary.
Yeah, definitely not necessary.
And then we also get our episode title, Camera Shy. It is on the train tracks.
It's just like floating in the air, filling up with blood. Hate it so much.
I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me, really. Would you want more of like the iconic one where it's just like...
Yeah, just the words. That's all I want.
Gotcha. I think it's cool. And so right after the episode title, we get someone finding the body of that driver. So we know that this guy, our first villain we're meeting, is definitely killing people. He chopped that dude up, like cut his head off and stuff.
Yeah, awful.
This show's way more gory, I think, than like we're used to.
I feel like it's because like people have been asking for it. Like,
Yeah.
give us
some severed heads. We've gotten 2.
Yeah,
And
it's wild.
it is the beginning of episode 2. That's so funny. But then we get over to Dexter again, and he is with Harry in the truck. They're kind of talking about Harrison. They see Harrison walk by. Michaela has something to say about the jacket.
Still in that blue fucking jacket. Go buy you something new. Fuck. Got a job now.
That's so funny. But they're kind of arguing over Harrison. Harry, it's like, the two parts of Dexter's mind. He wants to go confront Harrison. He wants to go talk to him. Harrison thinks he's dead still. So, and Harrison keeps seeing flashes of the guy he murdered, that Ryan guy. He keeps seeing like hallucinations of him. So I'm wondering when when Dexter finally does show himself to Harrison, if he's going to think it's like a hallucination again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think he probably is, because he's seeing flashes of people he killed, and then he's just going to see Dexter. He thinks Dexter's dead, right?
Yeah, as far as he knows, Dexter is dead.
But Dexter doesn't really want to confront Harrison. Is he afraid of the rejection? Probably. Probably afraid Harrison's going to freak out and tell him to get away from him or something like that. But he is there watching over him, trying to correct any mistakes, and he does cover his ass, like, fully. It's really cool. I like it. The fact that he's just, like, kind of watching from the shadows and, like, trying to have his back. Yeah. So then we get Dexter walking into the hotel, and he's looking for the crime scene.
Yeah, I love the way he just slides through the hotel and gets the tag to get in.
Yeah, so classic Dexter. But he's going up the stairs trying to find exactly which floor it is, and he is winded, buddy.
Yeah, he should have rested some more.
That 10-week coma did not do him any favors. So I'm glad that they included that detail of him really struggling to get back physically, because like that wouldn't have been nothing to old Dexter.
Yeah. Well, they also they do a good job of like staying on theme with this, because in Original Sin, when he donates all the blood and he gets like woozy.
Yeah. And he finally gets to the 11th floor. I think he said it was a 16-floor hotel, so like damn near to the top. And he finally finds the crime scene that he is looking for. And the inner voice makes a comment here. It still feels weird to be on the wrong side of the crime scene tape.
Yeah.
Which, it makes sense. Like, yeah, he lived, it's been 10 years or whatever since the events of the original show, but I bet it is weird to finally be back in Dexter mode and not be a cop and have no access to any of that type of information. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier, is like, that was such an asset to him, was having access to all those resources. So I bet it is hard and weird and frustrating as hell to have to do this as a civilian.
Yeah, but he's got the skills. He can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, clearly. He's going to get it handled one way or another. He might break a sweat doing it, but... So finally, Dexter, gets into this hotel room where Harrison has killed this Ryan guy. And he is a proud papa.
Yeah, he is just grinning.
Ear to ear. He's looking all around. He's like, I don't see anything. He's like, if Harrison committed a murder here, he did a great job cleaning up. But one thing he does notice is that the shower curtain has been replaced. He immediately clocks that, and he's like, Harrison must have used it to wrap up the body, which he did. He makes a comment about something else, too. So he notices the shower liner, but he doesn't really have time to inspect anything else before the cops, what are their names? Stefan and Claudette.
Yeah.
They burst in and start, I think wants to do luminol testing or something like that. This woman is clocking this just like Dexter has. And they make a mention of a gala, a very important gala. I think it's the hotel employee that mentions it, that they're going to be having soon. So that has to be our finale episode, right? Is the gala?
Ooh,
at
yeah.
least part of it. I'm assuming it's going to be a gala hosted by Leon Prater.
Okay.
The Dink, Peter Dinklage's billionaire character, who we have yet to see. But Dexter hides in the closet here, and he's kind of watching the cops talk about, the room and the crime, and he's realizing that they are on Harrison's ass. What are their names?
Aliva and Wallace?
Yeah, the detectives Aliva and Wallace. But Dexter makes a comment here. He's like,
Just what Harrison needs, a good cop.
because this woman clocks his shit immediately.
Yeah. Wallace isn't playing around. She's clocking the shower curtain. She also discovers that the back of the toilet lid has been replaced because it's a slightly different color.
Porcelain dust in the Vic's hair. Like from a lamp.
It was a flat object, more like a toilet tank lid. Notice how the bowl is an English bisque color, whereas the lid is alabaster? It may have been used as the murder weapon, then subsequently replaced.
Yeah, and she's also very suspicious of the amount of fluids that are found in that bathroom. It's too clean for a hotel, is pretty much what she surmises. So, to her, this indicates that someone has taken a cleaning solution, a special cleaning solution designed to cover up blood, and clean that bathroom with it. So she's like, this is someone who knows what they're doing. This is someone with some type of forensics background. So this detective, Wallace, she wants to luminol like all the other bathrooms in the hotel to prove that one is too clean.
Yeah, and Stefan, the hotel clerk, is like, absolutely not. Like, you're not going to get a warrant for that.
Which, I mean, that's good police work, man. Because it is weird, in a hotel bathroom, you're going to find pee and jizz and like all kinds of stuff. So the fact that this bathroom is so clean is kind of like a red flag. And I think she says it's oxygen bleach is what Harrison must have used to clean this bathroom.
And like, when did Dexter teach him that? Like, what's Harrison doing in his free time?
Well, the inner voice here says smart boy. And we all know Harrison is very smart, so makes a lot of sense. But it's also more of like they mentioned a crime of passion. This wasn't so much as like Harrison stalking and getting research and like figuring out this person and targeting on them and doing this very efficiently. This was like a spur of the moment, very emotional type of killing.
Maybe a date rape situation that went sideways.
That may be a component, but date rape victims do not typically murder their attackers, cut their bodies into 9 pieces and place them in garbage bags.
No, they do not.
On the other hand, the medical examiner said our victim was hit repeatedly over the head, past the point of death. Ergo, there is a crime of passion element to this.
Which is starkly different. I think Harry chimes in here. He's like, doesn't seem like he's following in your footsteps. Because Dexter doesn't do stuff like this.
Right.
He doesn't kill someone, typically. He doesn't kill someone right in the spur of the moment. And I do feel like Harrison covered up pretty good for such a...
Oh, yeah.
Right off the, right off the cuff.
I mean, only leaving like one little speck of blood on the ceiling.
Yeah. The only evidence he really left was like no evidence. You know what I mean? He cleaned the bathroom too good.
We just got a cop that's too good that come in,
I wonder how they're going to get out of this one, man. We also get a short little scene of Harrison going to do his babysitting gig. Before he gets there, though, he sees, like I was talking about earlier, one of those, like, hallucinations of this guy, Ryan, with his, like, face beat in. Harrison's really, he's not, like, when Dexter kills somebody, he sleeps at night. You know what I mean? He doesn't see, like, hallucinations of them. So this is really kind of scarred Harrison, it seems. But, yeah, he shows up to Elsa's apartment, a woman he works with, to babysit. Seems like they're kind of trading babysitting for hotel rooms.
Yeah.
She tells him that she's got room 1210 ready for him whenever he heads back to the hotel. So, and I think he brought this kid, was it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic? Really sweet. We get back over to Dexter and we have another little scene with him and Harry in the hallway.
Yeah, they're discussing like how Harrison could have got a body out of here without being noticed.
And this is partially where we get, there's usually always like these episode titles usually has like 2 meanings. So we come to find out that the hoodie that guy's wearing is called a camera shy hoodie, right?
Yeah.
But then also, at the same time, we're looking at the hotel footage, the cameras in the hotel, because that's what I was thinking of, is like, how did Harrison do all of this? And like, he's not on camera. At first, I thought maybe Dexter was going to like Pretty Little Liars it and sneak in and like delete the footage or something.
See, he did that for himself when he was almost caught.
I definitely thought he was going to do that, but he doesn't. But it turns out Harrison took this like I guess it's like an employees only elevator.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this one doesn't have cameras, so it makes sense how he was able to get the body down to the kitchen. But they definitely would have video of him going up with Ryan and that girl, right?
Ooh, yeah.
You know how he like takes them, helps take them
Right.
to the... There's definitely going to be footage of that, so I'm interested to see how they're going to handle that. I love how he's just walking around these people's establishment. Not a care in the world.
Just all up in the kitchen.
He finds his way into the kitchen and he surmises that that's like the perfect place for Harrison to have done this. And guess what? He's right.
It would be impossible for Harrison to sneak the body out of this hotel without first cutting it up. Where could he have done that? Stainless steel counters, lots of plastic, a limitless supply of garbage bags, and razor-sharp knives. This would work.
And then he stumbles out sort of like to the bar area and he orders a cheeseburger.
Then he says, actually make it 2.
I'm wondering if that's going to be our sandwich of the season, is the cheeseburger. I think he mentioned something about sour pickles too. I was like, oh, damn, that sounds good. A couple cheeseburgers and some pickles. Sign me up.
Hey, could I get some more of those sour pickles?
And as Dexter is enjoying his cheeseburgers, we get over to a little meeting in Iron Lake between Sheriff Teddy and Angel Batista.
Yeah, Batista's asking Teddy questions like, what was Jim like?
Teddy's like, he liked tuna.
So I'm at a loss here. How is it that Dexter just disappeared?
Dexter?
Dexter Morgan. You knew him as Jim Lindsay.
Yes, of course. He left. I don't know that he technically disappeared. Not in like a magical sort of way, I mean.
You see, Dexter, Jim, was a very good friend of mine, and I'm concerned about him. The doc said he should have stayed in the clinic for at least another couple of weeks. So I'm worried that maybe his head is not exactly right.
He's been through an awful lot.
What can you tell me to help me find him? What was he like here?
Everyone liked Jim. A nice man. I don't know too many personal details about him. He liked tuna.
Teddy's kind of clueless, and it's goes to show like can be a really stark difference between like the police presence in somewhere like Miami or New York versus the police presence somewhere like Iron Lake, where these cops just aren't as prepared or as like desensitized to. I mean, Teddy don't know what the fuck's going on.
He's he has no clue.
He's like, oh, poor Jim. And he, when Angel asks him, he's like, so what was Dexter like? And Teddy's like, Dexter? Who's Dexter? Like, he's just a clueless little guy. He's a really sweet character, but it's really funny. You can tell that Angel Batista is like really frustrated with the lack of information that this guy's giving him.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make a comment here. Angel does tell him, can you put like a flag on this truck that Dexter had so that if, he gets a ticket or it's sold, I'll be notified of that. And later in this episode, I think Harrison offers to sell the truck. Does he not?
Yeah, he does. So I wonder if that's how he's going to come in contact with Harrison, maybe?
Yeah, it sounds like Angel Batista is definitely going to find his way up to New York City once Harrison sells this truck. And then, Angel and Harrison have never spoken, right?
Not since he was a baby.
So yeah, that's gonna be a cool little reunion too. So after his burgers, Dexter takes a trip through the kitchen, once everyone has left, and he finds that little tiny drop of blood on the ceiling that Harrison has left behind.
And it is human blood.
Yeah. He knows that it has to be human pretty much immediately, though, because all animals are exsanguinated before they are, sent to a kitchen. So there's no real blood. I think he does mention that the red stuff that comes out of a steak is myoglobin, not actual blood. So he's covering up, and we get a knife reflection shot already.
Yeah, insane work.
That was on our bingo card. We were both like, hot damn. I did not expect to get one in the second episode for sure. And I think it's cool here, the when he takes that blood off of the ceiling, it it's a transition.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good transition too.
Yeah, it really is. It transitions into like the blood coming out of Dexter, right?
Yeah, when Harrison shoots him.
Yeah, we're back in Iron Lake, and blood is just gushing. Like, they didn't show this in New Blood.
No.
And it turns out this is one of Harrison's nightmares. But it looks like, that's what I figured, is they had filmed that back when they filmed New Blood. But the whole, like, it didn't have to be this way was, like,
Crazy.
scary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It didn't have to be this way.
And so then, Harrison jolts awake from having one of these nightmares again about shooting his father. I mean, I feel like that would scar anybody. So Harrison wakes up at 2:22, angel numbers, numerology. And he immediately hits up his buddy and he's like, yo, let's go party. As we know from New Blood, Harrison has a bit of a substance abuse problem. So he really shouldn't be partying.
No, but he needs to get fucked up, as he says.
And I love that they just take these rich ass people's cars out.
Yeah, so scary.
I would be stressed as hell driving a Lambo or a GT or whatever. I don't know what car they end up picking, but I would be stressed as hell driving that around. Ain't no way. But like you mentioned a second ago, I forgot about this actually the first time I watched it. When Harrison comes out to get in the car, he sees what he thinks is a hallucination of Dexter.
But it's actually Dexter.
But it is actually him. He's like trying to fix his code or something like that. And Harrison's like, oh, like he thinks he's just being like haunted by his, the memory of his father. But in reality, it's actually Dexter. So I think it's really funny making a comment about the parking situation in New York City. Dexter's little alien car gets towed. I think he tries to offer the guy money. The guy says no. He takes a look at the sign, and it really is hard to understand. There's like 3 or 4 different signs, and they all have so much shit on them.
Yeah, the inner voice makes a comment like he can determine how a man was killed by the tiniest drop of blood, but he can't make sense of this.
Yeah. And the guy tells him, absolutely no rides. You need to take your car. Or, it's like an Uber. So, yeah, Dexter calls himself a your car to old Dexter Morgan. So he gets into this your car, this sweet little man named Blessing. And Blessing is telling him about a serial killer they have in the city who has been targeting rideshare drivers. I think he says the guy's killed like 7 people so far. And we know who this is. We saw this guy in the beginning of our episode. But Dexter's shocked by this. He's like, no, I did not know that. The look on his face. And then the guy goes on to tell him that this serial killer's name is the Dark Passenger.
Sorry, I was a bit cautious when I picked you up. As you may know, we have a serial killer who's taking out rideshare drivers.
No, I didn't.
It's been all over the news. But of course, you just got here. He's killed 7 people so far. They call him the Dark Passenger.
The what?
The Dark Passenger.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Dexter's like, the what?
He said, what the hell? That pissed me off too.
Yeah.
Some motherfucker got my name.
It never occurred to me to trademark my alter ego.
Like, what? Who are you?
I definitely feel like this guy's going to end up on Dexter's table.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Dexter is going to find his trophies as well as that stuff from Leon Prater. And maybe that's how Dexter gets involved with Leon Prater. I think it's definitely going to be something like that. And like you said, we did get a clip of him like dressing all weird. And he's in the guy's gamer chair.
Yeah.
Or like the little spinny chair.
Right.
I bet he does an original spin.
Ooh.
And before Dexter gets to the impound lot, we get a little clip of Harrison who is partying. Him and that guy, I think are they doing coke?
Yeah, and they're just whipping this car around.
Yeah, I think that's the GT or something. It's a really nice car. And Harrison is continuing to see hallucinations of that guy he killed. So I definitely think it's going to be one of those things where he like sees Dexter and then he like rubs his eyes to get the hallucination to go away, and then he's going to open his eyes and Dexter's still going to be there, and it's going to be a cute little reunion. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Maybe episode 3 or 4. I don't know. We get over finally to the impound lot with Blessing and Dexter. Dexter's getting his like alien truck back. And Blessing's telling him that one of his buddies almost got killed by the dark passenger.
Yeah, but he got away, but almost lost an ear.
Yeah. And he says a little thing right here. He's like, to look into the eyes of a serial killer. And Dexter looks right in his eyes and says, spooky. And so it seems like Dexter's definitely intrigued by this. Like, no matter what's going on in his life, he hears the dinner bell. He hears somebody who's been doing something shitty. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm on that. So now he wants to go, it seems like he wants to go to Blessing's party the next day so he can talk to this guy that came face to face with the dark passenger. He's already on this guy's trail and like doing his research. And he's just heard about this guy like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Crazy. Dexter also asks if he could be your car driver since they're so short-handed.
Yeah, he's like, I really need a job. How would I go about doing that? So I wonder if we're going to see that. Do you think he's going to be a your car driver?
I wonder if maybe that's how he gets in contact with the dark passenger.
Yeah, I think we do see later in this episode, he kind of like thwarts one of the dark passenger's kills. He runs up and he's like, don't take my car. I think that's like in a few minutes here once he like really gets onto the guy. But maybe he ends up picking this guy up or something. That will be really cool. And Harry clocks him immediately. He's like, you just want to go after this serial killer.
You want to go after that serial killer.
He stole my name.
You're in New York City to make sure your son is okay.
It's called multitasking.
Duh.
It was really silly. And it goes back to, I think I saw, it was Michael C. Hall talking about in an interview how this season is a little bit more light. So I feel like we're going to be experiencing some more comedic relief than we have in like previous seasons. New Blood was dark, buddy.
Yeah. New Blood was very dark.
It was dark. And so it makes sense why they would want to lighten this one up a little bit. So then we get over to Charlie, Leon Prater's right-hand woman, Uma Thurman. And she is on somebody's ass. This guy is at the ATM, and he's realizing his account is at zero now. And he's like, what the hell? Charlie appears behind him and gives him the business.
Yeah, he's like, this extra $100,000 you're going to give me is going to help me out so well. And she just says, you're not getting it, buddy.
Yeah. So whatever it is that Leon Prater is doing, it's like he's recruiting these people, these serial killers. She says, we told you no requests, no demands, or you're out. She gives him an opportunity. She's like, do not ever contact us again. At one point she says, or do you prefer to be called the Canton Clubber? So clearly this guy is a serial killer from probably Canton, Ohio, I'm assuming. And he has pushed his luck with Leon Prater. And now Charlie is being sent out to tell this guy to fuck off. And this guy continues to push his luck. This club, this like bat she pulls out here is crazy.
Yeah, it's got like not knives. It's got like nails sticking out of it.
Yeah, it's so Negan coded from The Walking Dead. And it's his, and the guy's like, how the hell did you get that? I mean, clearly, a billionaire is going to have so many resources and access to so many things. She's good at her job. Of course she found it. And this guy makes a fatal mistake and puts his hand on her shoulder. That was really what sealed the deal for him. She was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, and she just takes that thing,
squashes him right in the head.
And she gave him a chance to live a life, but
it was brutal as hell too. See, I didn't think Charlie would at first. Like, I didn't think she was gonna be a killer. But she really gave that guy the business. She said, you know what? Clunk, lights out, and then it's a cute little transition to the breakfast joint. It's like it's Dexter stabbing some sausages with a fork.
Yeah, always eating.
That guy is always eating. His appetite. They make a comment about the appetite. so many different times, and we aren't just talking about, his food appetite. The guy is always hungry to do some killing as well. So Dexter gives Blessing a call and tells him he will in fact be at his party so he can talk to this guy about the dark passenger. But then we get over to our detectives, Wallace and Oliva. And they are looking at cameras, talking about how they tested the bathroom once again, and there was absolutely no bodily fluids whatsoever, which is very weird for a hotel bathroom.
Yeah, she asks what other bodily fluids they found in the other bathrooms, and there was just...
I think he says urine, fecal matter, vomit, semen, all the usual suspects. He's like, what? She's like, anything else? I think he says, what other bodily fluids are there? And she names like 12.
Saliva, breast milk, pus, vomit, sweat, bile, lymph, earwax, mucus, phlegm, vaginal lubrication, synovial fluid from the joints, cerebrospinal fluid, and of course extravascular fluid.
We didn't specifically check for any of those.
And she's funny. Just going along with like this season having a little bit of a lighter tone. It's definitely obvious in these first 2 episodes. But he's like, yeah, no, we didn't really test for those. But then they go to look at the cameras, and she's a little bit pissed by how many blind spots their cameras have. But he does make a comment here, Stefan, the hotel manager. He makes a comment about how there are cameras in all the public spaces, and he makes a point to say the elevators. So once again, I'm wondering, because she already kind of had, she already knows who Harrison is because of his little fuck up in the last episode.
Right.
With him, fumbling with stuff outside of the room, and then the manager was like, yeah, that's Harrison Morgan. So she's going to see Harrison getting this guy and this girl onto the elevator. I'm wondering how they're going to dig him out of this one, because that's a pretty big piece of evidence.
Oh, yeah.
But they do see some camera footage of this Ryan guy and the girl.
Who is this person? Make it bigger.
I believe she was here for the medical conference.
How many drinks was that?
Only one.
Guess that's where the hypnol comes in.
We need to speak to this woman. What is her name?
Well, I'd have to check.
Check.
And they realized that she had one drink and was immediately couldn't walk. So they're like, yeah, I guess that's where the Rohypnol comes in. Rohypnol is pretty much it's a date rape drug. It's like roofies. It is roofies. So this guy's just running around roofing women and raping them. He totally deserved to die.
Yeah, so Detective Wallace asks the hotel clerk, we need her information.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'll have to check. Yeah, do it, bitch. I don't know why this Stefan guy is being so fucking difficult, but he is. But yeah, I wonder what this girl's gonna say about everything that happened and how much she remembers. I'm sure we're gonna see that in the next episode. But then we get over to Blessing's apartment, to this party that he's having. And Dexter is there once again eating. So Dexter's at Blessing's house, and he finally meets the Blessing's friend who had come into contact with the dark passenger. And he tells Dexter that he didn't report the incident because his visa had expired. So clearly he was afraid of being deported or whatever. So that just goes to show this is definitely a racially motivated, or maybe nationality. Maybe it's just illegal immigrants in general, or immigrants in general. I don't know, that this guy is after. And Dexter's like, what did he look like? And this is the second time it's mentioned in this season so far. The guy's like, he was white. He looked a lot like you. Same hair color, same height. Could be you. And it's funny because a majority of mass murderers and serial killers, I feel like 90% are white men.
Yeah.
And so that's the second time that they've kind of made a comment about that. And the guy does look like Dexter.
A little bit, yeah.
I remember, I think you said you thought it was Dexter at first. And I think I did too for just a second until he started talking. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not Dexter, but it kind of does look like him. So this is where we get a clip of this guy, the dark passenger, and this is where our episode title comes from. The guy's wearing a camera shy hoodie. which I'm like, that is not a good idea. That's not a real thing, right?
I have no idea.
I hope not, because that could be used for all types of evil. Like, I don't think there's any good reason somebody would need something like that. But pretty much it's a hoodie that uses, like, infrared light to make the person's face undetectable on, like, any type of camera. Very smart. I mean, if you're a serial killer. And he talks to Dexter a little bit about the guy asking him who will miss him when he's gone. So this is just part of his ritual. This is part of the way that he tortures people before he kills them.
Yeah, he says he managed to get away by stopping at a green light and putting his seat back at the same time.
Yeah, I've actually seen clips of that on YouTube of people showing how to, like, defend yourself against attackers. And that was one of them. If somebody gets in your back seat and puts something around your neck, you're supposed to slam on the brakes and then put your seat all the way down, so, like, really fast, so you can, like...
Okay.
I remember thinking that would be hard as hell. I would end up fucking it up. Definitely. I would end up dead. I'm not good in that type of situation. But Dexter takes this guy's phone and sends the video to himself. So he has a copy of it. He is in full-on target mode with this guy. Especially since they have no real suspects, and the guy that he's talking to didn't even report the crime. So Dexter's like, yes, he's all mine. So this is where Blessing offers to let Dexter live in his apartment they have, like, beneath their house. It's a cute little apartment.
Yeah, not bad.
Be perfect for a single guy who's not a serial killer. But Dexter's already gotten himself a new car. It's a little Kia Optima. It's cute. At first I thought it was like a Ford Taurus, like a new version of it. I was like Googling it and shit, but it's not. It's a Kia. But yeah, he's kind of like, you know, on the fence about it because he's like, they're right above me. He's just thinking, how am I going to murder people here?
For real.
How am I going to have privacy here? How am I going to, you know, do any of my Dexter stuff here? But I think he eventually, with Harry's input, he ends up taking the apartment and, you know, putting in roots in New York City. I think he had suggested back in New Blood, he had suggested Los Angeles to Harrison.
Yeah, which is a good place to go too. Definitely easy to blend in as well.
Yeah, I mean, probably two of the biggest cities in the country are LA and NYC, so especially New York City. There's just so much going on. There's so many people all the time. So, you know, it makes a lot of sense why this would be a great hunting ground for a serial killer, especially somebody like Dexter. And now that Dexter finally has a permanent residence, he's taken this apartment from Blessing, he's able to get his license.
Oh, it's so cute.
He's like, yes, I'm me again, Dexter Morgan. There's no more of this Jim Lindsay shit. And what does he do? He goes straight over to the Empire Hotel to check up on Harrison. And while Dexter's kind of like watching Harrison from across the street, checking up on him, he watches that video that Chike sent him, or that he sent himself on Chike's phone, of the dark passenger, or the imposter as he refers to him. And he figures out that this backpack the guy has a company called Bridge Data Network on it. So he immediately finds the website, and then he finds the employee directory.
Yeah, and he gets to a name that has no photo. And so he starts to do some digging.
Yeah, that immediately throws up a red flag. The old Ronald Schmidt did not have a photo, but it seems like this is not this guy's name, because he's got this like directory, nationwide directory pulled up, and he can't find anything on this guy. And this company is like a cybersecurity company. So clearly this guy's some type of hacker, or he's good, you know, with cyber shit in some way.
Right.
So it makes a lot of sense that he would be able to float around with no real, like, digital footprint. We get back over to the Empire Hotel for just a minute with Harrison. Elsa, the girl he babysitted for, who seems like is probably going to be a love interest of his.
Yeah.
She says she aced her test, and then he goes out to the lobby to see that they have brought back the blonde girl, the girl that got roofied by Ryan. The police have brought her back to the hotel to speak with her, and they notice Harrison, and they ask to speak with him as well. So I don't really think we get anything on that yet, and we probably won't until the next episode, but It's definitely intriguing and interesting. I think that's why, I mean, these episodes have been so well received. Like, everyone has liked it thus far. They've done a really good job of, like, building up the anticipation thus far. I'm interested to see what the cops are going to say to Harrison and how he's going to be able to get out of this. But before we get anything on that, we get back over to Dexter, who is
on the prowl.
Yeah, he is hunting. So Dexter's standing here eating once again, and he is waiting for this guy, this Ronnie Schmidt, to come out of his job. And he finally does.
Yeah, he sees him exiting, and he decides to follow him and sneakily takes a picture to try and see if he is wearing the hoodie.
And he is. I think he says, oh shit, he's in kill mode.
So we see Ronnie trying to go up to your car, and Dexter stops him. Mm-hmm. He says, hey, don't take your car.
Dude, that your car driver has no idea how lucky he just got.
Literally.
Dexter just saved that guy's ass. And the guy kind of Ronnie, or whatever the guy's real name is, this killer, he looks at Dexter and he's like, yeah, sorry, man. Foiled. Playing foiled. It's crazy that he comes up out of work. He's just worked a long day, and he's like, I immediately got to kill somebody.
Yeah, wild.
That's like us with a cigarette. He's like, I need some. I need to pick me up. So Dexter follows this guy down into the subway, and he gets kind of shoulder bumped, shoulder checked by someone. And it immediately causes some type of pain in his chest, assumingly from being shot point blank.
Yeah, so Dexter is unable to catch up with old Ronnie, and Ronnie gets away.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of making the point that Dexter's age mixed with his injury just 10 weeks ago is really hindering his ability to do this job efficiently.
Yeah, he's definitely not as sharp as he used to be.
No, he may even need a successor. Harrison is following in his footsteps in some way or another. But I think that's probably something we're going to continue to see throughout the season is Dexter's physicality kind of hindering him and not allowing him to continue to do this as efficiently and as well as he used to. I love this little ending scene. It's so cool. So Harry appears once again, and Harry's like, you stopped this guy from murdering that person. You put everything on the line to help someone rather than to kill someone. He's like, that's different. It's going back to what I said, I think last episode, is I think we're going to see a lot of character development with Dexter this season. And I think Harry says, so since when do you care about other people? Dexter has been very selfish in the past, and led to a lot of death and heartbreak for a lot of people. And he says, since now, I guess.
He's growing up.
Aww. And he's walking up the steps from this subway, and he's like, this town ain't big enough for the two of us. He's saying, can't be two dark passengers.
Yeah.
He says, Ronnie Schmidt, my table is ready for you. And then we get an iconic look into the camera.
Oh, so good for our ending shot.
Michael just loves to do that. He loves to break the fourth wall.
I feel like he does it so well.
Yeah. And they do it at really impactful and good moments. But so I think we're already starting to see, and we're going to see more, like I said, just growth from Dexter, probably more geared more towards saving people rather than putting everything on the line just to murder someone. And maybe that's going to end up giving him a deeper fulfillment or something like that. I don't know, but I'm really fucking excited to see where this goes.
Me too.
These first 2 episodes were so good.
Very good. The end credits here, beautiful.
Yes.
We get shots of the skyline and the bridge.
And I love this, it's like an old-timey filmy type of filter they have over it.
Absolutely love it.
This one was also directed by Marco Siega, yeah?
Yes, and written by Scott Buck.
Okay, Scott Buck. Controversial.
He's redeemed himself.
Controversial queen. Okay. Scott Buck did write season 6 through 8 of the original show, which are debatably not the greatest seasons of the show. Not the most well received. But this episode was really good. Like you said, he redeemed himself.
What would you rate this episode?
I loved it. I think I rated the first one a 9.
I'm going to give this one a 9 since I rated the first one a 10.
Yeah. Because it's hard to judge sometimes. Maybe an 8.5. I liked this one just a little bit less, but I still thought it was a really, really great episode. I think it's propelling things along very well. There's a lot of suspense. There's a lot of things going on.
A lot of stuff going on, yes.
I'm really hoping we see the Dark Passenger, this rideshare killer, on Dexter's table as soon as the next episode.
I hope so too. I'm ready.
I'm ready, and I'm ready to get into the Leon Prater shit. I want some MPH. I want some David Dastmalchian. I'm ready. So I hope we get that in the next few episodes. And we're about to fill up this fucking bingo card already.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so we're really excited to see where this is going to go. We hope you guys follow along with us. We're going to be doing this every week, like we did with Original Sin, covering all the new episodes. If you guys have any input, feedback, comments, questions, please comment on YouTube or on Spotify. All of this is probably going to be posted on Spotify first, so I would definitely follow us on there before YouTube. But I think that does it for today's episode. We're going to be back next week with episode 3.
Titled Backseat Driver.
Backseat Driver. So yeah, I'm really hoping this next episode we're gonna get some table action.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Remember, you guys can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, especially Instagram. We're super active on there right now. And also X. We are at Dexter Unwrapped. You can also subscribe on YouTube, which we'd appreciate very, very much. Thank you all so much for tuning in to our recap of episode 2 of Dexter Resurrection. We'll be back next week right here. Once again, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Michaela.
And until next time, stay safe and keep that dark passenger in check.